Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Focused Hustlers podcast, a Web 3.0 crypto NFT focused podcast with myself, Liam, and Josh as your host. Enjoy. This one is about us and where we're going and what we're doing. Hello, welcome to the new podcast. Welcome to the Focused Hustlers podcast, first episode. My name's Liam Kilsby-Steele.
I'm Josh, and we started this podcast to sort of document our journey that we've got going on at the moment. Got some exciting things coming up, and we thought we'd start it with the first episode of the podcast.
And we clearly hate each other because I was going to do the introduction, but you've already taken the first job, but that's fine. This podcast is going to be about entrepreneurial stuff, small business stuff, startup. Basically the mistakes, the stuff we've learned from what we've done. We'll do a little bit of an intro into where we come from in business and stuff. But generally just trying to help people and a way to document our journey, because we've just started a new business which we'll get into shortly. And I guess let's start with who we are. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I'm Josh, obviously 21, and I just finished uni this year at Swansea University, and I now run a marketing agency called Growth by Media, and we work with, at the moment, small to medium-sized businesses, helping them with all things to do with social media, but mainly advertising, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all of the above. So quite exciting, a new journey for me.
When did you start that?
I started September 2021, so coming up 8 months now. So.
Nice.
What about you?
So I currently run two businesses. One of them is a video production and photography business, which I've been doing since 2020, start of the year. It's 2020. Oh, it's nearly my first year anniversary. But the longer business I've been running for about 5, 6, 7 years is a sports coaching equipment business, which I started just before I went to university. And yeah, I still run that, but kind of dropped it down to a size where it makes me money, but I don't have to do that much work, which is kind of always fun and a fun thing to do. I think it's quite interesting working together because obviously I create the content and then
I come up with a plan for everything. So
yeah, and then normally the client turns around and says, "No, get fucked."
Yeah,
so
don't want to pay that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. There's another podcast. We're gonna walk through loads of episodes, from literally starting naming your company, challenges you might have with the company. We're gonna talk a little bit about university in some later episodes.
Sort of the pros and the cons of going to uni and what benefits you can get from them, because obviously we both went to university and we loved it, and there's a lot of things you can get from it if you utilise the opportunities put to you. But obviously if you know you want to start your own business and be an entrepreneur, it may not be the right course for you. But yeah, we'll get into that in a later episode.
And then we're going to jump into all things about like business partners, client relationship management, faking it till you make it, and all sorts of stuff like that. But today, the first thing we are going to talking about business partners and stuff, is actually our new business together. So this is our first business together, and this is actually my first business with someone else, so it's quite frustrating. No, it's great fun. I'll let Josh explain what it is.
So about 4 or 5 months ago, Liam came to me talking about NFTs and all this, and I was talking about a clothing brand and how I wanted to start that. So we pieced together a lot of stuff, and we're gonna start a augmented reality clothing brand. So basically what that means is the clothing that we produce and put out, all the designs on the clothing, when you film them through this app, will move around and sort of be interactive, as there's no one else that really does that at the moment. And as the world's moving into this digital space, we thought this would be a great little segue and connection between them both. And then obviously we'll link it to NFTs, and that will gain you membership and access to all things we do with our brand. So yeah, it's exciting. Do you want to talk to them about how you're going to do the augmented reality? Because I'm sure.
I haven't looked at that yet. He keeps telling me to do this. One key part of this is we're not trying to rinse and repeat off NFTs. We're not trying to get in and make a big buck quickly, which I feel like a lot of people are trying to, or are pretending that they're not going to, but actually they just want to, put out a load of NFTs, and that's kind of half the side of the clothing. Like, the way it's going to work is you're going to get an item of clothing which has an NFT on, which you can then buy if you want to. Like, we're not forcing anyone to buy an NFT. By buying the NFT, you get access to loads of stuff, the membership and stuff like that. But I think it's really important to point out that we want to build a clothing company and a clothing community, especially for Web 3.0, and that's something we're going to talk about in this podcast. Is one of the reasons we started this new business is we wanted to build a Web 3.0 business, and something that allowed us to really
sort of be at the forefront of Web 3.0.
Yeah, and part of this podcast, as we said, is we're going to document that. And actually, when I first said to Josh I want to start a Web 3.0 business, I don't think I knew what I was talking about. I was just like, buzzword, let's use it, let's start one.
There's lots behind it, and so how we're going to implement it with our designs and everything is obviously because each NFT is unique and there's only one owner, so we're doing that with the clothing as well. So every design on our clothing will be completely different. So all the augmented reality stuff, no one else will have the same pattern as you, no one will have the same jumper as you, you'll be the only one that owns it in the world. So hopefully as we grow as a company and our brand grows, they'll obviously be worth a lot more, and there'll be a lot more utility that comes along the way. So if you get in early, it could pay dividends in the future. Yeah,
and I'm part of having that community, and as we build, is we really want to build young creators and help them, because being two young creators, it's
tough work.
A, like, get recognition as a creative, and B, just like generally build that client portfolio, and we're hoping that, well, we know this project will do well because we put a lot of work into it. And we're hoping that, every time we come up with a new set of NFTs, like we're working with a creator at the moment who is smashing out our first set of NFTs, and it's been really useful. And I'd like to be able to do that and have a whole stock of creators who were able to go, who wants to do this project on plants if the next one was on plants? I just saw a plant. That'll happen a lot.
More of an environmental one.
More of an environmental one. The ironic thing is it's a plastic plant that I'm looking at.
Well, I think the most important part about when starting a business and everything is you may think you have all the ideas and you can do it all yourself, but like you said, getting a good team around you, a good group of people who can push it in ways that you wouldn't have thought of, definitely helps bring it to the forefront and get your brand out there a lot quicker than what you could do yourself. So definitely look for other people to help boost you, and young people, as much as you can get wisdom and experience from the older generation and established businesses, but you got young people coming into the field, finishing uni, a lot of millennials who have a lot of good ideas, and they just need to find the right group of people to mix with to get the ideas to the forefront. And that's what we want to do with this podcast, is bring a lot of people on in our sort of age, not just our age range, but a lot of people who have created things or on the journey of creating things, and getting to know their mind and get their knowledge out of them, so we can use it to our advantage and put it on our projects.
There's a fridge beeping. Hopefully that stops. I think it's probably a good time to wrap up today, because today is kind of the pilot, the intro. If you want to check out, we're actually going to release the episode 1 and 2 straight away, back to back, just to give you guys a flavour of what actually every week will be.
If you have any questions, just stick them in the comments, and we'll add them into the segments, the video.
At the end of this, you'll hear our social media tags in the outro. If you want to hit us up on anything, I'm literally on every social media under the sun. They'll be in the description, they'll be everywhere, and they'll be in the outro. So,
and if there's anything you want to know about or hear about because you're thinking about starting a business yourself, or like us, you're just getting going but you're stuck on a few areas, just send us a message and we'll try to answer it the best we can. But obviously we might not give you the best advice along the way, but we'll try our best.
Don't say that. I'm going to sound like we know what we're doing. Right, goodbye guys, and we'll see you in the next